And we're live here in Nourish, Heal, and Thrive. I'm excited. We have Coach Tiffany Parra here, and she's going to tell us all about what she does. So thank you for being here, Tiffany.
Oh, thank you so much for having me, Derek. I appreciate you and just appreciate the group that you have here as well. It's just amazing. A lot of
Yeah.
people, a lot of amazing people in there. So thank you.
Well, you're one of them. We're excited that you're a part of us. And why don't we start by sharing a little bit about who you are, where you're from, and what you do?
Sure, absolutely. So I am again Tiffany Parra, or Tiffany Parra, Parra, however you want to say it. My husband rolls his R's, I can't, but it's Parra. It's the best I can do. But I am from sunny Southern California. Been here for pretty much all my life, but we are actually in transition out of California to the Dominican Republic. Born in Long Beach and raised in what we call the Inland Empire. I've always been just kind of that. Just gosh, ball of energy, I guess you can say. And what I do, I'm a coach. I am a healer. I do sound healing. We just did some sound healing yesterday, so I'm still feeling the energy from that. I am also I had a HR career for many, many years, so I still am a HR consultant as well for small businesses and medium-sized businesses when they have, just questions and things like that. I am a mother of a son, Navy mom. He just went into the Navy. This is our first year as Navy parents. Wife and also daughter. My mom is 82 years young, and I have two sisters as well. So yeah, that's a little bit about me.
That's amazing. So I'm also in California. I'm in LA, and
Oh, very
we're
cool.
neighbors.
Yes, we are.
Yeah, really cool. But you're leaving us, so we're
I'll be
sad for
back and
that.
forth. I'll be back and forth.
Cool.
My mom's not going anywhere, so I'll have to come back and forth anyway. So yeah, I'll
Okay.
definitely have to meet up with you.
Yeah, there we should. We definitely should. So,
Yes.
how did you get into the coaching and the healing and all that? What was that driving force that took you there?
Well, I've always kind of been that one that people come to, ask questions. Even in high school, I was always that person that people would come to when they were dealing with different things. And I would give them my opinion. And, I'm brutally honest pretty much about everything. So, we would just sit down and we would hash it out together. And I remember that kind of growing up. And as I got older, of course, I got into corporate world. That was really kind of what everybody wanted me to do. My father was a sheriff for 30 years. My mother was like Rosie the Riveter, so she built airplanes for Boeing for 42 years, which is just amazing. But just being in that, environment, that's where I went. So during COVID, I got laid off out of my HR position. I had already been a personal trainer because in 2008, I got caught up in what a lot of people do, that hamster wheel of life. And I went to a routine doctor's check, and my doctor pretty much told me I was going to die if I didn't make some changes in my health. So I made those changes. I dove into, learning holistic ways to regulate blood sugar because my A1C was like 9.7. And if
Mm.
you know anything about, about A1C, that's diabetic. Diabetes runs in my family, so I knew it could happen. I had gestational diabetes as well. And I just started working through it. I said, you know what? I got to get up. I started really being present about how I was behaving, what got me here. And as I started getting present, as I started getting up, I realized that I was sitting at my desk sometimes for 12 hours in a day. And sometimes I wasn't even going to the restroom. I mean, I would go right before I'd leave work and I'd just be the longest time there, like, oh my gosh, I really did not leave my desk today because I was so caught up. So again, you got to stay up on those routine doctor's checks because they can be a rude awakening. And that really was my rude awakening. My son was 4.5. I knew I needed to do it. So in getting up and moving, I also went back to that gestational diabetes diet and I decided to just kind of tweak it. I'm like, you know what? I hated that diet because I was pregnant and I wanted everything. And I couldn't have it because they wouldn't let me because they said, you know what, if you eat this, something's going to happen to your son and all this stuff. So I stayed very strict on it, that half a stick of string cheese and 12 almonds and things like that. But this time I said, I'm going to make it fun. If I want chocolate, what's a healthy way to eat chocolate? Let's get it with a higher percentage of cocoa. There's the antioxidants, all that stuff. Started looking into teas. There's so many wonderful teas and herbs out there that can help you to balance anything in your body. Now, don't get me wrong. I am not against medicine, medications, things like that. If there's a place for it. But for me, this was what was gonna work. And, again, I just kept diving in. I started looking at sea moss. I started looking at Ceylon cinnamon. I started looking at all the things that, you kind of hear about, and just found a way to release the weight. And as I started releasing the physical weight, I released 118.7 pounds. Okay.
Wow.
Took me 3 years. As I was doing that, I realized too, being present with myself and learning myself, I was in toxic relationships too. I was in toxic friendships. There was so much toxic stuff going on around me. There was more that needed to be done than just releasing weight. So the first few, I would say the first 40 pounds that released, the relationship I was in ended up crumbling and released as well, which was great. It was the best thing that could happen to me. Then the job that I had been, at, driving 2 hours one way to work, sometimes 2.5 hours one way to work in LA traffic, right? I was going from Ontario, California to Irvine, almost Newport. So
Oh my
that
gosh.
living here, Derek, like that, it's far. And
Yeah.
I was even taking the toll roads sometimes. So just imagine you're spending all this money on toll, on, stuff for your car, oil changes, tires, all these things. And it was just driving me crazy,
Yeah.
so I released that job. And as I released that job, it was awesome. Things started falling in place. Then all of a sudden something else came up, and in another job, this is where I was released from that job because I kept going into toxic. Okay. So went back into a toxic job, got released, and that's where I went full-fledged into the coaching and really just started showing people, the things that serve them, and having those conversations with people on what's holding you back from being the best that you can be.
That's
What is
amazing.
it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love that
Thank
story. It's so good.
you.
And it's amazing how we go into something to get healthy and release weight, but so much other things in our life become better because of it.
Yeah. Yeah, it's just amazing.
Yeah.
And also, you have to release, there's energy, there's so many different things. I mean, I started getting myself around positive, like-minded people. I started digging into books. I fell in love with Lisa Nichols. I read The Secret. I read it, then I listened to it. Then someone bought me the DVD, and I'd watch it. I mean, I became kind of obsessed with The Secret for a while,
Hmm.
and then started even digging into the individuals in The Secret. So Lisa Nichols, she, from California. I went to San Diego to a few of the events there and met a lot of amazing people that, we've written books together, just coming together to share stories, sharing my journey as well. I started a health and wellness magazine, Phoenix Fitness Fanatics Magazine, just sharing. And the right person saw me in the room and said, "Hey, I want you to come and contributing right for Own It Magazine, Own It Magazine out of Philadelphia with Marisa Blodorn." And Marisa saw something that I didn't. It was like, even though I was having all these positive things go on. I never imagined myself actually having a magazine. And we birthed that in 2021, Phoenix Fitness Fanatics Magazine. And we go around and we find coaches that want to share their stories and their experience and their knowledge, their nuggets, where it's a one-stop shop where you can just find everything. Because that was kind of, I had to go all over the place to find it, and it took me 3 years to do it. So why not have a place where, if I'm not the coach for you, hey, there's a coach out there, for you in it, and you can pull from all of us and learn, some success techniques in so many different ways. So that's another thing that I'm up to right now. It's just being the editor-in-chief of the magazine and sharing, just sharing that knowledge and wisdom.
Yeah, and that's exactly why I wanted to talk to you today because I feel like that's what I'm doing here with Nourish, Heal, and Thrive. We want, if I'm not the coach for you, I want to bring other coaches that
Right.
can help you. And, it's just there's
Yes.
so many people that need help and so many people that want to give help. I think that there needs to be some places where we can all find each other.
Absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely. And it's like, and drop the ego, because there's
Yeah.
so many people that want to work by themselves because they just want to do it their way. And, we can't do it by ourselves. It's my motto is better together. They always hear me say it, my contributing writers with the magazine. I have a women's group as well because I needed positive, like-minded women. So I said, well, you know what? I'm going to go ahead and create my own, So we created the Girl Powerhouse Network. There's 522 of us worldwide, and we just celebrate each other. There's no ego, it's no judgment. It's just come and share your brilliance. And that's what people need to understand. There's enough people that we can touch all over the world together.
Yeah. Wow, that's so amazing. So tell me a little bit about balance in your life because you got the coaching, you got the HR consulting thing, you got the magazine, tell me how you balance all of it and keep it all going.
You know what? Having a schedule is first and foremost. Being able to, I've really been able to kind of hone in on it, and even going through an international move right now. We sold our place in Ontario and moved into a RV. So we're in an RV. We've been in an RV for about 8 months. So there's a lot of challenges, when you go from living in a certain place and, going into a smaller place. It's me, my husband, and the dog. And like I said, the last time we were going to meet, I had all these issues, internet, and all these different things going on. And really, the way that you find balance is just stopping and being present.
Mm,
Just stopping and just flowing with it. It doesn't always have to go exactly the way that you wrote it down to go. And, you just write down how you want it to go, but just don't be so hard on yourself. I do a lot, My son will sometimes call me in the middle of something because that's the only time that he has to, be able to talk. And I have to learn to pivot. It's the power of the pivot as well, the flow. Right. So that's really, I find balance, when I feel overwhelmed, I stop. I
mm,
stop and I go walk in the grass and I ground. I always have water running around me and different things that I find tranquil. So I always tend to kind of stay in balance. And that's, I think, also where the sound healing came from, because that was one of my favorite things to do whenever I would go to, yoga classes or, different things and or get invited to a sound. I would just relish in it, just and I went to one and I said, I asked the practitioner, I said, would you mind if I just, and she let me go ahead and start, kind of playing around with them. And I just melted into them. And she says, you know what? I think that's your knack.
mm,
I think it is, and that gives me balance. Whenever I feel off, I feel my energy a little off balance. I go and I play and I reap the benefits from that. I exercise pretty much daily. If I'm not exercising, if I'm not in the gym, I'm in the pool, I'm stretching, I'm always moving because movement is medicine. So that's going to be the way you're going to find balance. My mom's 82 and she walks 5 miles a day almost every day. She has had two replacement hips and a broken knee, and still it does not stop her. So that's a lot of my
yeah.
inspiration.
Good for her. That's amazing.
Yeah,
Love it. Love it. So tell me for your coaching, tell me a little bit about your clients and who you serve and kind of
absolutely.
how their outcomes after they work with you.
So I typically do work online because they're all over the place. And I really like to deal mostly with the fitness aspect of things. That's my knack. So helping people to release that weight and figuring out what it is that's triggering you, or if you most of the time it's emotional eating, right? So we want to figure that out. So my clients have a food journal, and they also have a regular journal where they can just dump out all their thoughts for the day, and then we can go back and we can look at that, and we can kind of see like, oh, wait a second, you were having some issues with the kids this day. And oh, see, look at you over here eating these chips or having that slice of pizza. You're always going to be able to figure it out as long as you're writing it down. So we do a lot of that. We meet 3 days a week online to do a workout together as well. And I always give them challenges. So it's a month at a time. 30 days is good. And then they just renew from there, as long as they need to. Now, I also have business coaching as well that I do. After 15 years of HR and having a really awesome C-suite executive team, I learned a lot, and just learning a lot of how to build business, how to pivot, and just really be able to figure out ideas. So on the business side, I also, and this is through the magazine as well, with a lot of my contributing writers, because they are business owners, they're coaches, they're trainers, they're DNA specialists, they're, a little bit all over the board when it comes to health and wellness. But we also meet to kind of figure out business. What are the things that you can do to, help you to get to that next level in business? Or if you're not monetizing, what is it that you can do to start monetizing better? And really being strategic and helping them to get to where they need to go, in addition to focusing on their health, because that's the most important, is our health. Our health is our wealth.
Health is wealth, yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Wow, this has been so great. Anything that you haven't had a chance to talk about that you'd like to share with people?
Let's see. Well, it also, well, I told you I'm relocating, so I am relocating to the Dominican Republic, and we are doing retreats there. So we do have a retreat coming up in February. This one is the retreat for the ladies, so it's the Girl Powerhouse retreat, and then we have a couple of HR retreats that we're planning right now for those people that are in the HR roles that, those are the people that you burn out. In HR, you're taking care of so many people. You're taking care of the employer, you're taking care of the employee, and having that tug back and forth can tend to take its toll. So I'm specializing in doing retreats to help the HR as well as the corporate professional to not get burned out. And we're doing that through breath work. We're doing that through really tapping into you and learning how to be present with you, learning how to listen to your heart, and just doing a lot of different things, that can just kind of help you. When you come back, you feel rejuvenated. You feel like you can just conquer the world. So that's some other stuff that we're doing as well.
Sounds great. So if I'm out there listening and I'm feeling overwhelmed and I might need to get healthy and maybe lose some weight, what would be your recommended first step?
My first step is just to find the person that you resonate with, that you can sit down and just talk to, have the conversation. 'Cause there's so many people that are so scared to have a conversation. So look around. There's so many coaches out there. I watch so many videos, and find that coach that you resonate with. Watch interviews, do your research, and whoever's out there that really resonates with you, reach out to them. Make the first step. Reach out, communicate to them, and have the conversation. That's the first step. That's the first step.
I love it because, like you said, we need to do this together. It's easier with somebody than without somebody. So
Absolutely.
really great.
Absolutely.
So if you resonate with Coach Tiffany, she's going to put links in the comments here, and she'll be able to share all those links with you, and that way you can connect with her if you feel resonated. If you resonate with her and you want to reach out, you'll be able to do that.
Absolutely.
Coach Tiffany, any last words you want to leave everyone with?
Let's see. Well, it is Motivation Monday. So, Motivation Monday, again, movement is medicine. So, all you guys out there, especially you out there that are corporate, that are sitting behind a desk, and even you business owners sitting in front of this computer, get up and get outside, smell the roses, listen to the birds, and just be present and enjoy life. We only have one, and we need to enjoy it. So that's my words of encouragement and wisdom today.
Love it. Love it. Thank you so much.
Thank
It's
you.
been such a pleasure to have you. Anyone that's listening, if you resonate with Tiffany, check out her links in the comments. And if you like what we're doing here at Nourish, Heal, and Thrive, you can comment interview and we'll spotlight you. We'll share your gift, share your story, or if you're struggling, we can give you the support you need. So thank you, everybody, and we'll
Thank
see
you.
you at the next one.